Hi guys, it's Michaela and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my 31 and 32 week pregnancy update. We are officially 8 months pregnant and it is exciting and I am worn out. I am currently 122 pounds, so in the last 2 weeks I gained a total of 4 pounds compared to, I believe it was 118 in my last pregnancy update. Baby is about the size of a cantaloupe. He's growing big, he's getting a lot of fat on him, he's getting prepared for birth, and that'll just be the case over the course of the next 8 weeks or so. I had my OB appointment and he actually told me that my belly was measuring small, but that he was very clear that he was not at all concerned about it. And then over the course of the last couple of days since I've been to my doctor's appointment, I feel like my belly caught up to where I needed to be. Even my mom was telling me it looked bigger than like the last 2 days, so maybe it was just something to do with the day I went and it just was measuring small that day, or maybe his positioning in that day. But anyway, at this point I do believe that I am caught up because I'm feeling bigger and I'm looking bigger than I did even just 2 days ago, and that was kind of a big change. It's really weird how pregnancy and bellies grow, and I'm like looking at myself in the mirror right now as I'm filming this, just to look at the bump. But it's amazing how bellies grow, and like you can go from looking small and then all of a sudden it like overnight it's like, oh, you have a belly, oh, your belly's bigger, and then you're like kind of there for like a week or two, sometimes 3 or 4, sometimes 3 or 4 weeks depending on where you're at in your pregnancy, and then it's like you pop all over again. And like right now it's like my belly's changing what feels like almost daily, just because we are at that stage where we are preparing for birth. We are at a place where we are talking about the birth plan and what that would look like, and if you missed the video where I talk about birth advice for first-time mothers and really just kind of how to prepare for birth, I will leave that video linked down below. I basically just kind of share things like what to expect when you're in that time. So we are discussing that right now. I have started noticing Braxton Hicks contractions. I always get so confused. I'm like, okay, what's Braxton Hicks and what's just random pain? So I have noticed what I've kind of considered my Braxton Hicks contractions starting up as of week 31. So about 2 weeks ago when I started feeling them. They come every once in a while, particularly when I'm driving. Well, not so much when I'm driving, but when I'm in the passenger seat of a car, like driving through curvy roads and things like that. That's when they pick up. Little man has been getting on my nerves, my literal nerves. I've gotten a lot of nerve pain. I was actually driving in the car about a week ago with my husband. We were on our way to go do a couple things, and I started feeling these really bad tightening sensations that would not let up, and it was all on my left side. And I'm like, okay, it feels like Braxton Hicks, but they would not let up the entire drive. I was just in so much pain, almost to the point of tears, and I was like telling like everybody in the car, I'm like, okay, just calm down, I just need a minute of just silence. And I started researching like preterm labor, things like that, and I'm like, no, it's not preterm labor. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get to my destination, I'm gonna use the bathroom. If anything weird, if it looks like I'm bleeding or have any kind of discharge or like I lost anything, I'll call my doctor, but I doubt it's anything right now. Honestly, I believe it was nerve pain, but it was like Braxton Hicks contractions that were legitimately painful. We had stopped to put gas in the car, I had gotten up, I had moved around a little bit. That really didn't help that much. I had kind of just, it was about 3-4 minutes and I was just kind of up walking like right by the car, swaying just kind of outside the passenger side door there while my husband put in gas, and it wouldn't help. And then the entire drive to our destination I was just in so much pain. Finally we got to our destination. I moved around. It probably took a good 5 to 10 minutes of just kind of like moving, walking, hanging out, doing what I need to, just constantly moving and not really sitting down for him to finally move. And baby was just on a nerve. And so once we got to our destination, we were being social, we were hanging out, doing our stuff. Then I'm like, okay, I'm feeling better, this is feeling normal. He was just in a bad spot and I just could not get him to move for the entirety of that drive. And at the time it was about a 30-minute drive. So that was fine. I was relieved as soon as he started moving. I mean, and he was moving the entire time. I was feeling this nerve pain and like the Braxton Hicks contractions. He was moving, so I knew he was fine. I was just hoping I wasn't going to be calling my doctor. But again, everything was fine. And I haven't felt that pain since. I occasionally feel pain in my right leg, particularly when I'm carrying my toddler, or even if I'm carrying something. I tend to carry her on the right side, or even just anything. It's just something weird about the right side, but I'll start feeling like this numbness that goes all the way down my leg as I'm walking on occasion, as I'm like going to and from an area, and I'm like, oh, I can't, you know, I can move, I can feel it, but it's like this numb, tingling sensation, and it's just really, really weird. And again, I think it's just where he's at the time, maybe the movements I'm doing, maybe the way I'm carrying my toddler, or carrying whatever I may be carrying in the moment. I'm not carrying anything too heavy. I haven't been carrying anything too heavy this entire pregnancy. So that's been something I've just been really conscious of, because especially because I did have a tear in the beginning of my pregnancy, and that's in one of my pregnancy updates from like the end of the first trimester. So I'll find that video and link that down below, as well as the entire pregnancy updates playlist. This pregnancy journey has been kind of crazy, but it's been a well worth it, wild pregnancy journey. And through all the ups and downs, I have not stopped feeling baby move, and I haven't stopped feeling baby move since week 8. So if you are new here, that's just kind of my crazy journey, and it's such a blessing that I feel him move, because it's like every time I start to get nervous or start to doubt, it's like, you know, God's just kind of sitting here saying, okay, he's moving, he's okay, just you're okay, everything's fine. So it's been such a blessing that even though in all of the craziness of just the ups and downs of this particular pregnancy journey, I've known he's okay the entire time, and he still doesn't stop moving. I'm also dealing with some Restless Leg Syndrome. That hasn't gone away. I haven't talked too much about it, but it's eased up a little bit, but like the last couple of nights or so, it's been hitting hard, and I'm like, I'm just uncomfortable. I'm constantly tossing and turning all night. Again, I've been doing that since probably about 20 weeks along, like mid-July, I want to say is when it started, beginning to the middle of July, so around the 20-week mark. I'm just uncomfortable. It's just the way it is. But again, and as I've said in past videos, I don't mind being up in the middle of the night. I don't mind constantly tossing and turning, because it just prepares my physical and my mental state for the birth of my baby. And I just feel like it'll get me in tune with a routine of just constantly being up all night and then having to go the next day. I'm obviously resting more now than I will be, but I don't mind, because I'm up, and I'm usually up for a couple of hours during the night, and then I'm resting between that. So I don't mind being there for the sake of, I know it's going to prepare me, though the schedule may or may not be different. It'll just prepare me in that sense of I'm getting ready to have a baby, especially now as we are preparing for the birth. You know, we're not that far away. You know, as of this pregnancy update, we are 8 weeks away, and so I'm not too worried about it. Everybody's excited, everything's getting prepared. We are just so excited. So before I go ahead and close out, and again, God's just done so much in this pregnancy, so much good. Even just, you know, the fact that I'm not sleeping at night is a blessing in itself, because I know that'll just help me better. But we're just so excited. So before I close out the video, let's go ahead and do a quick 32-week upshot. Alright, my shirt says me and mini me on it. Here's a side view. Again, not the greatest view in the world, but I'm kind of having to hold my camera at a weird angle. Here's a front view, and here is another side view. You can definitely see the curves in the belly and just how far it's gone out, and just really we're just sticking out there. I even feel like I'm carrying a little bit low right now. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. Let me know in the comments, but I do feel like I might be carrying just slightly low. But yeah, and again, thank you so much for watching and being part of this pregnancy journey. I truly appreciate you guys and just going on this crazy journey of life with me. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I do videos focusing on beauty and lifestyle, and I will see you in the next one. God bless, and bye guys.